Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to our Babers Insider. I think these weekly visits have been a lot of fun this year, and we keep seeing the Orange rise to new heights, escalating here, Coach, to number 13 across the board in all the polls and even the college football playoff rankings. We've talked about it and your reaction to how it's going. I'm curious how it happens here in the building. What's the coolest thing you've gotten? Because I'm sure the phone calls and the emails and all of that have gone up as well.
You know, the coolest thing is the letters from old fans and talking about how fun it is to have the football team back. The calls from major boosters that are excited, and then just to have guys coming back to the game and guys trying to get back up here and the alumni. It's been really cool.
You could say, why does it matter? And I think people maybe on a visceral level know, but don't really think about it. You know, they support their program and whatever, but when they're at work or the club or out in their nightlife and living around the country, when your team is in that top 25 or top 15 and playing in major games, people notice and there's a sense of pride.
There's a major sense of pride about it. I've got to share this one with you. I had my daughter. I have my second daughter's over in L.A. Working in movies in Los Angeles. And she sent me a picture of an assistant director that had Whose House, Our House on with a Syracuse hat and holding a diagram of a football play talking about we support you, coach. And that's all the way in Los Angeles. So it kind of gets blown all out of proportion, but then you start realizing how many people do care whether you win or lose, and football is important.
Sure, absolutely, and I know you got to focus on the X's and O's and on the game, but in this particular game, so much of it has to do with really dealing with the emotional aspect of it, right? It's senior day coming back, and among your seniors, you know, we've seen just this week between Eric Dungy and Kylan Whitner, they're engaged in their press conferences, social media, et cetera. It's not just lip service. They really want to feel the presence of the fans at the game this week.
You know, they really do, and it's a special time. If you've ever been an athlete before and the last time you take the field on your home venue, you've sweated on it, you've bled on it, you might have given some broken bones or some torn cartilage or ligaments on it, and now this is the last time. You will never play on this field again. There's no bowl games on this field. I mean, the best you can do is have a son, and maybe the son can play on the field again.
Sure.
Now, you'll be able to walk on it, and you'll be able to watch from the stands, but this will be the last time you'll be a participant. And it's a really emotional time.
And really that's the thought behind your senior walk. People will remember maybe that happened in kind of an impromptu way in the previous couple of years. You had your moment, the season was over, you sent them back out, and then they get to maybe now the game's over and the pressure is gone. What do you think goes through the minds of players at that time?
I hope reflection. Thinking back to a redshirt freshman, maybe the first time you got on the field and got the you-know-what kicked out of you, and you had to get up, brush yourself off, and come back and get bigger and stronger to where you are as a senior, where you're contributing in a major way to winning and losing for your university. So I think that all that stuff will come back, and then an interaction and a give back to the fans. Maybe a fan that'll say, tell them a story about something that maybe Eric Dungy did,
sure,
whether it was true or false, being a tall tale with him. But all those guys, I think the reflection part is the main thing, and hopefully it'll be something special for him.
Well, with him, you can think about, well, how about the time he jumped a guy? How about when he scored 30 career touchdowns rushing? How about when he threw for 50 touchdowns? All those things are real for Eric Dungy, and still a ways to go. So fans are encouraged to show up early to see those seniors like Antoine Cordy, a guy who's been through some hardships, Chris Slayton, who most people couldn't pick out of a lineup and doesn't get any stats, but is maybe the best player on the team. They'll go back out on the field after the game as well, and fans are encouraged both early and late to celebrate the seniors prior to this last Dome game. Isn't it unusual, though, this year, Coach? You know, senior day always is emotional. It's often the last game or second to last game of the season. The last couple of years, you had no postseason hopes. Now you're looking at 3 games after Friday that all ought to be a ranked Syracuse team against a ranked opponent.
You know, it is different, and it's really unusual for me for it to be that many games after the season's over. And we're going to have to put it in perspective. But I don't want to take away from what this senior class has done. It's put us back on the map. It's taken a whole bunch of losing seasons and combined them, hopefully into one special season that we still have a lot of football left to play. And I just hope that everybody appreciates as much as I do how much these young men have done for us.
Okay, let's bring it back into the game itself, because you can talk about all the circumstance and all the fun, but if you now have a blemish on your home record this year, it won't be quite as fun, because you want to have that unbeaten Carrier Dome record. The Orange are 5-0 in the Dome so far this year. Louisville comes in struggling without an ACC win. They've lost 6 in a row overall. Obviously, the loss of Lamar Jackson is significant. Every team would take a step back with that happening. What are you seeing right now with the Cardinals?
You know, I'm not quite sure what I see. I'm afraid. I mean,
Right.
I see very athletic young men. I see a very large football team. I see a football team that should be better than what they are, and hopefully that they don't all of a sudden find themselves against us. I think they're as talented as we are, maybe more talented. They're just something's just amiss. They're not totally on the same page, and hopefully we can come and play together as a team and come out with a victory.
Well, Louisville's had the upper hand in recent years against the Orange. Should be another good, hard-fought ACC matchup. More fireworks in the Dome come Friday night. Fun one to have the nation's attention on the Carrier Dome with the number 13 Orange against the Cardinals. Coach, thanks.
Thanks, Matt.
Best of luck to Coach Babers and the Cuse, and thanks for visiting us here with the Coach Babers Insider.